The woman does this, she thinks it through, and then she goes, I have no husband. True, right? And Jesus sees straight through it. You can almost kind of feel the compassion in his words matching the defensiveness and the shame in hers. And he goes, that's right. Yes, you're right. You've had 5 husbands, and the man you are now with is not your husband. Like, straight for the jugular, right? It's like, all of your pain right there. It's like he wants her to know he knows who she is, and yet he's still there, and he's still engaging with her, and he's still giving her the time of day. He's still loving her in that. But in doing that, he actually goes to the deepest source of her pain. He goes to the place of her judgment, where she really needs healing, and exposes that. She isn't comfortable. And what do you do when Jesus identifies the source of your pain? When he goes straight into that place of judgment? You talk theology. That's what you do. You talk theology. There is nothing better than a convo about the state of the church, about homosexuality through the Bible, about social justice, to deflect the conversation off your personal relationship with Jesus and right onto some religious topic where you still feel, pretty good with God, right? Rather than looking at your own life and going, actually, hey, is there something that I need to address here? I reckon that's one of the primary ways that we actually use religion in the church, is to run away from personal relationship with God. And it's crazy because what do we say that God desires? We say that he desires relationship. We say that he desires our hearts, our minds, our souls, our strength, our spirits. Yet more often than not, when God comes to us and he pushes a button, like, hey, that person that you're still angry with and kind of avoiding, no, okay, we're not going there. What about, hey, those hurtful words you said and you didn't apologize for? Or, maybe something deeper. Maybe he's pushing that button and bringing to light those words that you really believe about yourself that he really wants to bring into grace. Because they're not true, But it hurts, so you push him away. And, when we feel uncomfortable, we just revert to religion because it's easier. And we go, I won't deal with that now, which basically means I won't deal with you now. And we go to church. Something like it. And we try to lie to ourselves, and we try to lie to God. And it's hard because, even honestly, if you sat here for a moment and thought, where is my relationship with God at right now? What would your answer be? I know that everyone here is coming from different places, and that's totally cool. I don't actually think it's about where it's at. I just think it's about honesty in where it's at. And that's the key. I have some friends that used to say, Jesus is a gentleman. He won't actually come in until you let him. And I think that's really cool, because he really does it with this woman, right? He points out her 5 husbands and the fact that she's not living with a guy that she's married to. And she goes, oh, too hard. So where should we worship? Should we worship in the temple with the Jews, or should we worship on this mountain? Which is the big theological question of the day, but a little bit less personal than the whole 5 husbands thing. Just a tad. And Jesus meets her exactly where she's at. And he goes, okay, that's where we're going? No worries, we're going to go there. But he still brings it around to the personal, right? He goes, well, not in the temple, not on the mountain, but actually there's going to be a time when true worshippers will worship in spirit, and they'll worship in truth, which I think is a call to personal relationship, an honest relationship. And I reckon that all of us have a well, and Jesus sits there and he waits for us to be ready to engage him. And I guess my point from today is that if Jesus has been sitting by your well, trying to bring something up, or, you've been deflecting that, maybe now's the time to just acknowledge that and to chat about that and to say, yeah, but I'm not ready yet, but I'm acknowledging it, or having a chat to him about it. Maybe it's time to be honest with yourself and to be honest with him. Or, you know, if you haven't actually spent enough personal time with him to know what that would be that he's saying to you at the well, maybe it's time to sit and ask and invite the gentleman in. Because I actually think that the easiest trap is thinking that we know what he's going to say. I know that for a very long time, I thought that God only wanted to talk to me about my sexuality in judgment, and that meant that I avoided personal time with him. And on the outside, I would be going to church and everything like that, but I would avoid personal time with him, or it'd be like I'd come into personal time and then I'd be like, I'm sorry, I repent, I'm sorry, I repent, first up. When I actually sat with him and let him speak to me, I actually found that that's not what he wanted to say at all, right? He had very, very different things to say. And so I guess I want to encourage you guys to give him a chance. And I don't know where you're at and why you came today, but I guess it's just easy to hide behind the theological questions or the outward actions. But I want to encourage you that God desires worshippers worshipping in spirit and in truth, and integrity is personal. And I think that involves coming as you are, in who you are, with whatever you've got to bring, so that he can delight in you in that, and that he can encourage you in that and walk with you in that. You don't have to lie to him about who you are, right? He knows it. You don't need to lie to us at Crave about who you are, because I think that's one of the beautiful things about Crave, is that you come as you are and you're accepted as you are, and that's it, you know, wherever you're at. And God does the rest, right?